Having super strength would be kind of useless because who the fuck is supposed to fight?
Something that only exists in fiction. They're typically needed to fight supernatural foes and threats, but when translating some of these powers to real life, some of them kind of lose their value, whether it be because they're not needed or the fact that the average human can't use them easily. Last time we covered some of the most useless superpowers to have in real life, and I felt like making another one of those videos because, to be honest, I didn't even get through half the powers yet. So here's a lot more that you will probably never use in real life if you had them. First off, we got the Infinity Gauntlet. And for this video's purpose, I'm going to be referring to the MCU version. As we all know, a gauntlet powered by all the Infinity Stones is extremely overpowered. Heck, even one of these stones by themselves is OD. Think about how many Marvel movies were centered around one Infinity Stone. There's a bunch of things.
Marvel decided to fall off. You know what I'll do? I'll get the stones, then I'll reverse time where Marvel didn't fall off. And I'll just keep doing that.
Each stone can do. You can make yourself stronger, warp reality, manipulate time, travel through space, mind powers, and have power over your own soul. And the gauntlet just takes all these factors to the next level and makes you a one-man army. There's the fact that you can snap and wipe out half the life in the universe. Tony wiped out an entire army, and you can even pull a Thanos in.
Use the stones to destroy the stones.
Even though it's kind of stupid, but you get the point. But there's one very small problem. How many times are you going to use this thing? Think about it. If you get the Infinity Gauntlet right now in real life, you're probably not even going to be able to wield the thing. Let's give you the benefit of the doubt and say you can actually lift this hunk of metal up. You get one use before you get deleted. This thing can only be used by the Hulk and Thanos safely because they can withstand gamma radiation. Last time I checked, us regular humans can't do that. Why do you think Tony got packed up when he used it? Heck, even one stone can't be handled by a human. Star-Lord tried to hold it and started breaking apart. This boy needed the power of friendship to...
Would it be useless then? You'll still have one use for it.
Checked. Us regular humans can't do that. Why do you think Tony got...
I would use it to turn back time, then I'll keep using it to turn back time, so then I couldn't die. Use your brain.
I packed up when he used it. Heck, even one stone can't be handled by a human. Star-Lord tried to hold it and started breaking apart. This boy needed the power of friendship to save him. And if we're being really specific, Star-Lord wasn't even a full human back then in the first movie. So you'll probably get vaporized if you try to hold the stone. The most likely option for the gauntlet is that it will end up like the Nintendo Power Glove.
It's so bad.
You're gonna have this junk laying in the corner of your room collecting dust. Oh yeah, this is one gonna get a few of y'all mad. Next up, we're gonna talk about the Gum Gum fruit, or as it's actually known as the Hito no Mi Model Mika. But for this video's purposes, I'm just gonna call it the Gum Gum fruit. This thing is basically pointless in real life. When you eat the fruit, as far as we know, your body becomes rubber and you have the properties of rubber. You're immune to electricity, can bounce back bullets. We're gonna come back to that one later, etc. This means you can kind of rocket around the place and you'll have some decent mobility. First off, we gotta acknowledge that this fruit takes a lot of mastery and training to even use properly. It took Luffy 10 years of extensive training to even aim his Gum Gum pistols well and actually get control of his stretching. So it's gonna take like 10 years for you to start throwing out East Blue Luffy moves. Not to mention the fact that you have to be creative enough to actually create your own moves. And this isn't a problem by itself, but I know when most people think of getting Luffy's fruit, they think about Gear 5 and all of Luffy's cooler moves. Bro, I'll keep it a buck. You might be lucky if you can even unlock Gear 2 or 3. You know how long it took for Luffy to awaken this fruit? He awakened this junk at 19, and he ate the fruit as a 7-year-old. Man, add the fact that he was the first person to awaken this fruit since Joy Boy was alive. That means the fruit hasn't been awakened for like 800 years. That means mad people have had this fruit in the past and got murked before even attempting to awaken it. Luffy is literally the second coming of Joy Boy after 800 years. If you become one with the fruits and...
I'm Joy Boy model nigga. How about that?
Luffy is literally the second coming of Joy Boy after 800 years. If you become one with the fruit's intentions, that means you're Joy Boy. And let me tell you this now, gang. You're not Joy Boy. And it was no easy journey to awaken this fruit. He's had to fight dozens of opponents, die a couple times, free some islands, and only then was he able to awaken the 5th gear. Oh yeah, back on that bullet point I talked about earlier. The Marines only use completely round bullets, so it won't pierce Luffy's skin. But we are not using muskets nowadays. There are some pointed bullets in real life, so don't think you can go into a war zone and just start bouncing back a bunch of bullets. You're gonna get shot up and look like Swiss cheese. While we're at it, let's talk about our good old friend's devil fruit, Akainu. Now I know most of y'all watching this video are probably teenagers, maybe early 20s. This means that you are probably at school for a majority of the day and you go home to chill or do work. If you're working, it's probably something similar. You go to your job and you come back home. If you ever walked around and said, I need to hit this guy with some magma. If I see someone in the comments saying, nah man, this guy was yapping too much, so I needed a magma fist to deal with him, you're lying. Akainu's devil fruit makes you a literal magma man. You're made of magma. This man throws a magma fist and chunks are flying off of people's bodies. He can rain magma from the sky.
I could rubber store. It's not useless, is it?
When will you ever need something as dangerous as magma in your everyday life? You can't just clean up lava easily. The amount of property damage you'll cause will be catastrophic considering you're a walking volcano. The only benefit you get with this fruit is the low get intangibility, which I guess makes your life a bit safer at the cost of burning everyone in sight. Hold on, before I get into my blue-eyed goat, if you've made it this far into the video, you might as well like the video and subscribe if you're new. I drop content like this every single week. Anyways, back to the video. We also should mention a certain man who's known as the strongest in his verse, and that's because of his curse technique in his eyes. However, basically all this man's bag is useless in real life, and I'm not talking about infinity because that's realistically his only technique that wouldn't cause much chaos in real life because it's not too destructive. First off, we can talk about his domain expansion unlimited void, and for the sake of this argument, let's assume we can use it on regular people because it would be completely useless if you couldn't use it on anyone. If you activate this domain, people are getting an unimaginable amount of knowledge in a short period of time. It's basically an infinite amount of knowledge. Basically, it's like being in a 4th period physics class after lunch. Your brain is being fried. Gojo used 0.2 seconds of his domain, and all these people couldn't function in society for 2 months. Imagine you accidentally kept the domain open for like a second. You're basically making people vegetables if they get caught in it. Then we can talk about his actual techniques being red, blue, and purple. Now, the hollow purple memes are hilarious, but we gotta be realistic here. I know most of y'all watching are not murderers. Probably. So you aren't gonna send out imaginary mass and erase your teacher from existence. Seriously, if you are about to get mugged and you hollow purple someone, you're going way overkill. Look at what happened to Toji. So many buildings just have a crater in them now because he wanted to delete one person. Dedo even said it himself that Gojo can't run at full power when people are around. Unless you're insane or something and don't care for the people around you, if you ever encounter someone you actually need to fight, you better be in a forest or another secluded area. Because any move you throw out is going to destroy a large chunk of the area around you and likely get a bunch of people caught in it. Anyways, that's all I got for y'all today. I'd like to apologize for the lack of uploads and community
So basically all of them are useful if you're a serial killer.
interactions. I just got finished with midterms, but now fortunately I'm free from the shackles. I should be able to upload a bit more consistently and return back to normal. Also, thank y'all so much for 5K subscribers. I never
Shut up, nigga.